Hey Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No.
Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
And we're back. That was a long break.
Was it a long break?
Well, I don't know. Did we get the last one up?
Nope.
The last one's not up, so it's like not even that long of a break. We put them both up tonight.
Did you put up the one before that one?
Yes.
Finally?
Yeah.
When?
A couple days ago.
We gotta figure this thing out so I can start putting them back up again.
What was that one?
The Shining.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Shining, and last week was Halloween.
Yeah.
Which, if we were smart, we would have put it up on Halloween.
Yeah.
It was actually Halloween.
Should have put a schedule on it. Yeah, like 1978 Halloween.
Definitely should have had it up for Halloween. It's
I thought you had. It says here D. Snyder's Strangeland. Is that Halloween?
No,
No,
it should
no.
have been Shining after that.
Should have been Strange Sunshine.
Yeah, the last one was Shining, and the one before that was D. Snyder.
Yeah, the one after Shining was Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, how's everybody today?
Groovy.
Groovy, baby?
Groovy. Getting there bit by bit.
Mildly less stressed.
Yeah. 100%.
You guys are just happy your show is done, eh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a pretty bad final night.
You thought it was bad final night?
Oh,
for your play?
our play was a solid 85, whereas like Friday night it was like 95.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the sound
was-
cues missed at the beginning, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a good Saturday night, but whatever, we did it, we survived.
That's one of those things. Like it was, Tom did as good as he could for what he had, but it was like when you start, your stage manager didn't get to look at any of the other plays and their cues until like 3 days before, and your play had half a dozen cues that were special, and then Thomas's play had like 43 cues, and she was pretty stressed. But got through it.
I think you guys did okay. So, Laura,
Yes.
what movie are we doing today?
Really?
Yeah,
You're gonna ask me this
I'm
one?
asking you.
Fuck.
You can tell it's going to be a podcast when Laura starts it off with fuck.
Right? So, I suffered and I watched Conan the Barbarian for you.
Who chose this movie?
Jeff?
Jeff, have you seen it before?
No, I've never seen it before. Which is
Corey's never seen it before.
Mhm.
What? My question is, what sparked the interest to do this movie?
So I've had this idea for a little while to do. It seems like it keeps coming up in topic, like movies that a person hasn't seen, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I can't believe you haven't done that. Oh, I can't believe you've never seen that." And so I was just like, "Well, you know what? Conan kind of fits that. It's on the verge of that horror stuff. Plus, it's also something that I've never seen before.
It's on the verge of the what stuff?
It's on the verge of horror. Like, it's got a flavor of horror in this movie.
Jeff?
I'm not saying it's a horror movie.
If I had a glove, I swear to God, I would slap you.
I think it's hard to deny that there's not horror elements to the story
Right,
and the
you
way
got a
it's
glove I
portrayed.
can borrow. Like,
Well-
seriously.
To quote Jeff, it has supernatural elements.
That's Corey.
Yeah, you're quoting Corey.
Or Corey, I meant. Sorry. You're all in a line, so you know, Laura's special, so I'll recognize
Or
her.
special, alright.
So,
Special.
so this movie's got a lot of blood, which is a horror staple. It's got a supernatural element, which is a horror staple.
By Corey's standard.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I respect his choice to follow that.
As I am discovering, it has a lot of nudity, which is apparently a horror staple
No,
too.
no. The amount of nudity in this movie is porn.
You're telling me there's more nudity in this than, like, say, Halloween?
Yeah.
I guess,
Yes.
a little more than Halloween.
I don't remember you being approved before, Laura.
It's not so much the proof
Is there
thing, but
more?
it's like
Is there
the
more
orgy scene I could have done without.
Is there more nudity in this than Strangeland?
Yes, because this is longer than Strangeland.
But Strangeland was kind of like, it was a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for, like BDSM porn. Like it was like a...
Which was?
Strangeland.
Okay, no, I didn't see that one.
You weren't here for that one, Mike.
Yeah, we give way too much power to heavy metal rock stars.
So with that in mind, I was like, I had either Conan or Highlander kind of in mind because I've never seen either one of them, and I thought this one kind of aligned more with what we've been doing lately, so I would go with it.
Both movies have just actual brilliant elements to their era. Like, it's hard to find somebody that disregards Highlander as a classic, nostalgia, great movie from its time, even though it may not have been like brilliantly done. It was still, it hit the mark hard back in that era. The story sold far greater than the production value of it, but it was a great movie. This one too. This sparked years of fantasy movies, real bad ones. After this.
You know what? In my first time watching this, all I could think of, oh my God, He-Man ripped that off. Oh my God, He-Man ripped that off as well. Oh my God, fucking He-Man ripped that off too. Like this whole He-Man ripped everything off of this movie. Everything.
A lot of things were stolen from this movie. This, like I said, this was a spark to everything later on. I know I mentioned to you, Jeff, I call it almost a perfect movie in the sense that this was a perfect casting for Arnold Schwarzenegger. They gave him 8 lines, and he delivered them as perfectly as he needed to. All the buddies on there are his bodybuilding buddies, all the other enemies, and then we live off of the brilliance of James Earl Jones and the accessories.
There could definitely be a argument against the... Now, I appreciate the way you worded how perfectly he could do it as he could, but like perfect delivery of his lines is...
Name one actor that could deliver these roles and present a character as well as Schwarzenegger could have in this day era.
Schwarzenegger did a really good job with his physical presence and his facial features, but you could tell this was young Arnold, and the accent was a little too heavy for me when he's like. There's a few lines that are really good, but anything like a little on the softer tone, it's a tough listen.
Conan's not a softer character. That's the thing, right?
Where was this movie again?
1982, and wasn't this his first movie?
No, Hercules in New York was his first movie.
I don't watch that one.
Before this one, but this was his on the map movie.
Yeah.
He was becoming a household name before this, but this was like...
From what?
Pumping Iron, mainly. Pumping Iron was a pretty popular documentary. So
That was 79. That was 79.
Yeah.
Like he had done Pumping Iron, Hercules Goes Bananas, Hercules Goes New York, depending on how they wanted to name it.
I don't know. I don't think Hercules did well, but Pumping Iron was quite well known. Like I don't know if you'd call it exceedingly popular, but it was in the household, right?
I don't know if I'd call it household, but it was like, to me it was known because I was a bodybuilder and back then, and I did things like that. But
I learned that his accent, like when he speaks Austrian, which is where he's from, his language his voice is very slangy and very crude, that whenever they translate his movies, they get somebody else to do it.
I'm sorry, I don't know what do you mean?
Like, from his English back to Austrian, they don't let him do it. They make someone else do it.
Oh, in Austria.
Yeah.
Or German, yeah.
Or German, yeah, but Austria is where he's from. So.
Well, yeah, he's from Austria, but I found out Austrian, German, all those, they're the same. Like, they called him the little German boy when he was growing up. So Austrians spoke German more than anything.
It's a form of German.
It's a dialect of German.
Yeah. But you would never call an Austrian a German.
Laura, I know that I can see the look on your face already, but we just passed the scene where little young Conan loses his sister.
That was his mother.
No, that was his sister.
No, it was his
That
mother.
was his mother.
That was his mother?
Yeah.
His mother and his father.
Yeah, I knew he lost his father. I swore that was his sister.
No, that was his mother.
I thought you know what? Someone should fact check me. Well, you should know
I
much.
literally just finished the movie and I'm watching it again.
But
He
I
said, you killed my mother, you killed my father, you killed my people.
Prepare to die. Oh, sorry.
Wait.
wrong classic 80s movie.
I know Conan first from the comics. My brother was huge in the comics from the 70s. And then I had a stack that I would go through. And that's how I taught myself to draw, through Conan.
Okay, so I'm glad you bring up the comics. You know why I wanted to do Conan? To hear Mike talk about how much he loves a Marvel movie. Because Conan is a Marvel comic book character currently.
Sure. And when did it become a Marvel? Back then? Was it always Marvel?
In the 70s.
But
I don't remember what time.
I have no problem with Marvel. I never did have a problem with Marvel. I never
We're
have.
quoting that clip.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Marvel, of the MCU, but that's it or what it is. It's just not my thing.
But okay, so get back on my thing I was saying. You actually looked like you were quite gripped and engaged at that moment.
No.
No? That doesn't do nothing for you?
The deadpan look.
I feel like that's a good emotional moment in this movie. I thought it was done quite well.
I would have, if asked before, I would have guessed that Laura wouldn't like this because it's so much like a Western. It is filmed in the spaghetti Western of Italy. There's a lot of elements that I would have thought that Laura wouldn't really get behind.
There's some elements that they definitely got wrong, and that's only because I am married to a Norwegian.
Yeah, this is a fictional. Everything about this is fictional. This isn't real. Samaria is not a real place.
Are you telling me that there wasn't really guys that turned into giant serpents and slithered away?
I mean, they might have thought they were.
Or witches that turn into fireballs and cackle like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Again, they might have. But no,
We weren't there, Jeff.
We were.
no, it's more the whole barbarian and, well, if I die and I don't live a good life, I'm not getting into Valhalla.
Well, I don't think he cites Valhalla, though.
Yes, he does.
Yep.
He cites, Kerr is his god.
Brahm is his
Brahm is his
god.
god, but if he dies and he has not lived a good life and has not been a good man, he will not get into Valhalla.
I do not recall the Valhalla statement. But,
That's-
like I said, the first time watching this movie, so,
Robert E. Howard did what a lot of people back then did, and they stole mythologies from the Norse and from
He's fighting.
whoever. I mean,
Didn't you see the sharp teeth?
Yeah. But rude.
He's like Dracula.
I don't think Dracula's got teeth that looks like that, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, well then he thinks he's a hyena. I don't know, because Arnie sounded like that right there.
teeth filing is pretty common around the world.
Well, yeah, but I don't think Dracula needed to do it.
Fangs?
Yeah, fangs is different than, whatever that guy's doing with his teeth. I do appreciate this character evolution, goes from the weak child and then kind of not really a good fighter right at the beginning here, right? He's okay, he wins his first fight, but it was definitely not a domination right off the bat.
I do too. I very much love how he evolved from a little kid that's following the post to the only one pushing the mill, and then he goes from this, and then he becomes highly trained by all the specialists.
Mm-hmm.
He's the gladiator of gladiators. I bet he would destroy Maximus. Oh, sorry.
What were you saying, Corey?
I said League of Assassins what?
As a there's some stuff going on in the Marvel comics. They really brought back Conan, and I love, not to gush about the comics, but there's an interaction between Doctor Doom and Conan the Barbarian, which I guess freaking love. It's basically Doctor Doom is like a no bullshit, won't fucking take up from nobody. And Conan is like one of the few people in all comic book that Doctor Doom respects. Because Conan gets like fucking fuck you pretty much. Like, that's not exactly what he does, obviously, but he's just kind of like, I'm not putting up with your shit, Doctor Doom. I want fucking this, I want this, and not this. And I don't fucking care how you feel about it. And Doctor Doom's just kind of like, I respect you, Conan.
I was gonna mention what I liked here, and this was one of the reasons where I felt like Arnold did a good job. After he won that fight, I read in his eyes like, oh my god, I did it! Right down to, and transitions right into that, I am a god. You know, in that one scene, it's just like, holy shit, I did it. And then, yeah, I really liked how he showed that.
Okay, does he not look like He-Man right here? Except for the sword. Like, but that chest plate?
Sword comes later.
Yeah, that's the wrong sword for He-Man. He eventually gets the He-Man sword.
Well, we have his father's Atlantean sword, which we'll see later. Logan convinced me to buy it from Comic-Con. We shared. We split it.
Man, that's impressive that you got like 1,000-year-old sword like that.
I mean, you can buy anywhere.
It's a wall
You can
hanger.
buy anything.
Mind you, I'm pretty sure it would defend us from a home invader fairly well, assuming they don't have guns. We are in Canada, so.
Corey, you're going to be saying that a lot.
So, Laura, is this not your favorite part
This
of the
whole
movie?
scene like promotes rape.
But he doesn't rape her.
He does so.
Okay, well, you're right, but it doesn't condone rape. He like gingerly brings her over and then
Takes away the blanket, forces her to lay down, and
Did you
Right.
think that rape didn't exist hundreds of years ago?
well,
I mean, this is the brutality of it, right? I
Doesn't
mean, no
mean it
one's
needs to be
promoting rape. It's a barbarian.
you
He
know,
is Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. Such barbaric behavior. Wait a minute, he's a barbarian.
I do think it leads to an interesting topic of like, do terrible things in movies that happen in real life, having them portrayed in movies, does that make the movie condoning them? Or does it guess storytelling, right? Like,
a lot of it's probably storytelling, but realistically, it's shit we don't need to see.
well, but like, they say that, like, I guess, like, oh, he was bred, right? Like, and that's exactly what was going on there, right? There could have been more tasteful ways and less graphic ways, but. Go
Sure,
ahead.
yeah, no, this is the first time I would openly disagree with Laura because it's art. Art is a choice. Art has to be allowed to tell the story how it wants to tell it without what's going on. We want to control how people talk and control how people think. I mean, maybe it could have a warning at the beginning, graphic and all that stuff, I agree. But, I mean, if you're going to censor art, that is really a first step in downfall of civilization.
Well, and like your choice, you picked.
She's shaking. She's trembling a little bit now. She wants to come at me. Thank God I got wheels. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I think.
But I'm biting my tongue because I'm going to say something that is mean.
Well,
Wait, say what you want to say. Just try to be respectful, Laura.
yeah.
Yes. Huge misconception. Mike, I understand art. I understand art 100%. Sex is not art.
Sure it is. It can
No,
be.
it's not. Why
It can be.
Okay, why do we physically have to watch somebody have sex as a portrayal of sex?
Let's step back from Conan for a second.
I fully step back from Conan at this point.
So, sex in a movie, if it's put in there for a particular reason, it sets tone, it sets the depth, It's like the word fuck. Why do we need the word fuck in any movie? It brings a value that the artist, the creator wants. Now, if we go into porn, that's not art, that's money and whatever. So that's complete.
But by definition, sex is art. So therefore, porn is art.
But yet, porn people will defend their art form.
I was going to have an interesting interjection that, like, even though you say porn's not art, porn technically is art.
Sure.
Not saying that, like, it's not me giving a thumbs up to porn, but, like, porn's technically art.
I imagine that there's some very classy, tasteful depictions of sex and whatever that are put on the film for the sake of art. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of porn, so I couldn't tell you.
And like understanding historically too that yes, rape happened. It's not something that needs to be depicted in any way.
But in this case, they're setting the tone of the barbaric of this era. If they didn't have that, it wouldn't be far off, but it would be lesser presented. The tone of it would be lesser. And this guy, whoever this was, wanted to send you in that realm. Oh, like the opening of Saving Private Ryan. That's very graphic and disturbing for a lot of people. Did we need it? Maybe not as bad as it was, but it set that tone of that era, and it sunk it in deeply. And it's not for everybody, and I totally understand. So.
Right, and so for me, like that whole rape thing is not needed. But I also know people who have been raped, so that is not needed.
And again, it's a perspective from anybody that somebody who's been to war that didn't like Saving Private Ryan, they would say the same thing about the violence in that one. And I understand that. And then that boils down to the fact that not every movie is for everybody. But I don't think it should be disallowed or banned.
The rest of this movie was in, but that scene bothers the shit out of me.
And I understand
it's
that.
Always going to. So for me, like you saying that it's art, having people have gone through that, no, that is not art.
And art is only art to the people who view it as art.
You do have to look at it through the lens of this is a movie of slaves, right?
You watched Gladiator, right?
Well, but this is a movie of slaves. Like, you could say equally that it's traumatic as someone that has lost their parents to watch a movie like this, because in the first scene of his movie, he loses his parents in a very drastic and dark way. And, that is something that has really happened to people that I know that have lost their parents at young age.
And people are going to see it as traumatic. But they're not going to see that as art either.
Well, I don't think, I think there's a different rule for that kind of stuff, though. Like, I don't think anyone that has lost their parents would say you can't have parent loss in movies because I lost mine.
Oh, I'm 100% not saying that because I have lost my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that at all. It's not the traumaticness. I'm not saying that rape can't be in there. What I'm saying is I don't agree with it. And I'm allowed to have that opinion.
100%, and that's what I mean. Like I don't want you to feel in any way that I'm diminishing how you feel about it, because you are 100% right to feel that way. But it's a choice. It's from your perspective, and I understand that. And I'm not saying that all movies should be this graphic and this whatever.
This one wasn't even nearly the most graphic one that I've seen.
No.
No.
There's worse.
No. There's some heinous scenes in there in the movie cinema that I don't like and I hate, but I'm not supposed to like them, and I'm not, and I'm supposed to hate them, and that's riles up that deep emotion of hatred and vileness that I have, which is exactly in most cases what the author or the filmmaker is trying to get out of me.
I do think there's an acceptability of rape when it's in film, when it's portrayed by the perceived antagonist, not the protagonist. And that's probably what rubs you the wrong way, because this guy is supposed to be the hero of the movie, and he partakes in this heinous, terrible thing.
Probably more what sets me off on that one is breeding. There's breeding, and then there's rape.
Well, I think the choice, I think, in this one is to be like, these people are treated as animals, like literally like animals, and I think that depiction was to hit away that point, right? But
Most likely.
I don't want to try to be careful of my words. I like how you put that, and I think I agree with that to some degree. But I'll also say when it comes to rape, violence, it's gratuitous natures. If it becomes gratuitous, it has no business being in a movie in any sense or form. And we've seen a lot of movies where they're throwing it in almost for the oh look, movies, and then they go too far with it, and that becomes gratuitous, and I don't need that.
yeah, I love that look he gives too, because like, whoa, the fire blew up.
Not only that, the witch is a cave woman. She is.
Like, she is. I'm not gonna lie. The beginning of this movie kind of confused me. I'm just like, okay, so he's just like going around or random huts. Okay.
No, he successfully smacked his ankle brace with the freaking sword, which wouldn't have worked in the first place, and then ends up here. After he kills and skins the wolf.
It's the equivalent of shooting a lock up a door.
Right. but after he kills and skins the wolf. To get his coat, which Hercules, like, that's a complete rip off from there. So.
It's funny how much like I really are not into this movie, but I was such a big Arnold fan. Like, he did no wrong for me, but it only started after Terminator, I think.
I liked him in Twins and Kindergarten Cop.
Oh my god! If you guys get an opportunity, you got to pick up The Villain. That was his first feature-length movie, I think. And I can't remember whether it was before or after Hercules, but they allowed him to keep his voice, and it was with Kirk Douglas and the leading lady. You'd recognize her, and he played the handsome stranger. That was his name, by the way.
I think I knew about this.
Stranger.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that movie before.
Nope.
I loved it as a kid because it was so hokey and corny. Black Bart, who was played by Kirk Douglas, painted a big black circle on the side of a mountain, and Arnold rode through it, and then when Kirk tried to follow him, he slammed right into it. It was your typical, ooh, yeah. That's
not a
that is a
horrific picture of Arnie.
It is a brutally bad movie, but it was absolutely entertaining for me because it was like the Coyote and the Roadrunner in real life.
It kind of looks like that.
Yeah, no, it was.
You remember Dust to Dawn?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a lot of nudity in that one?
Well, toplessness anyway.
Toplessness, yes, but like she's like the head snake vampire lady.
Me too.
That wasn't Penelope Cruz, was it?
No.
Yeah.
Selma Hayek. Wasn't
Oh,
it?
Selma.
Oh, well, this movie, that's a little more.
Selma
Selma Hayek. Yeah, it was one of her first big movies. It was right after Desperado, I think.
This is one of the scenes where I'm just like, Arnie's acting terrible right now. Like everything there was just
This
like
was
not.
one of the scenes?
I don't agree in the sense that he's a barbarian. He's emotionally numb to begin with. He's been trained to be emotionally numb.
That was a scene where he was like trying to be a softer person, like or a softer character, and it gets like and bewildered.
I have no idea what he was trying to be. So
well, that should tell you how good the performance was.
No, I mean what Arnold was trying to portray in that. I was fine with that scene personally, but Like you say, I've read Conan for, probably, I don't know, for so long. I mean, he was always an emotionally, his emotions are so dead. Even in the comics, it was, he killed his best friend in a battle, and he says, we will meet again on the mountain of the slain, where even there death will fear us. And that was profound to him, right? And the fact that most of the stuff is Germanic, Asian type thing, so I love, that's another thing I loved about it, is the racial things. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely more Mongolian than.
Isn't it funny how white Earl's teeth are?
Yeah, they wouldn't be this white in this time.
Nope.
Nope.
So we haven't met him yet, but he's the narrator. Is anyone familiar with Samurai Jack?
Yes.
It's familiar at best.
Familiar at best?
That's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's the cartoon. Yeah. So the narrator and the wizard is what's his name? The bad guy from Samurai Jack. And like the whole time he's like, is that the bad guy from Samurai Jack? I think his name's Haku. Haku from Samurai Jack.
It's been a long time since I watched that.
Oh man, it wasn't that many years ago they released like the last season. And the last season was amazing. But yeah. I was shocked to find out that it was the same actor. His voice is so distinctive.
Oh yeah, like this movie came out, and then it was like that voice and characters in like so many movies. It's like the bad guy in Die Hard. It's the same thing, but that guy's visual.
Mm-hmm.
I also kind of want to know where they got the turkey.
I'm gonna imagine they hunted and killed it.
That looked like a turkey.
But probably they probably didn't really kill a turkey.
There is such thing as a turkey vulture.
Oh yeah, that's
in
true.
Mongolia?
I mean, where else?
Okay.
Okay.
I do love how whimsical this music is right now. Like, yeah, we're barbarians killing people. A witch just fucking blew up. Like, no fucking shit, a witch blew up. And it's like, do-do-do-do-do.
It's adventure music.
He's jogging through the middle of this desert.
I love the fact that they jog, and it's just like this perception. It's about 150 miles away. We're just jogging there. No horses.
With 150 pounds worth on their double
You'll probably.
Did you ever watch the movie Pathfinder?
I have.
They get on one end of the ocean and they get to the other ocean on the other side in like 3 days. So good for them.
Does it take about 7 days with the Titanic? Oh, sorry, you're right. They didn't make it.
No, but like across land.
And sadly on that one, they were like 4 hours away.
Like 97 years and counting. Yeah, we're still waiting.
I get exhausted watching them run all the time.
At the beginning of this, I also had a hard time like trying to decipher how this is all tying into the major plot of the movie. Like the beginning of this thing seemed very aimless up until now. Once they get to this little town, then it started to feel like, okay, there's a little bit of plot going on now, and there's a little bit of driving. And I'm okay with a movie that's character-driven. Like, I enjoy, it's driven by Conan growing up and honing his skills. But,
Where'd he get gum?
I mean, there was probably some sort of gum equivalent back then.
Gum?
Could be like fat or something.
No, they would have all sorts of type. Like, you use tar gum, tree gum. That's been around for a long time. I'm sure they could have something.
What do they call this stuff?
So
it sounds like guano. I don't know. I don't know.
So nobody's ever read the comics, I guess.
No.
Well, I've read some of them, but the comics I read were probably different than the comics you read.
Well, I mean, like if the whole story of who Conan is, he's a nomadic thief, and so they're leading up. They've created the origin story, right? Okay, we got the origin story. That's as a kid. Now we grew up, and it's this is the adventure of he goes from town to town. They hire him to steal stuff, and he gets paid, and he steals stuff. I don't know. It was probably one of the better adaptations from comics to movies, especially when Conan was a serial. Like next month's issue had nothing to do with the previous one. You know.
Did you ever read the original written stories, not the comics, but the stories themselves?
No, I haven't.
Conan came out in the 30s, I do believe, the 30s, the 20s.
He died in 36, so that makes it would be
in the 20s then.
Well, if he was born in 06, he was only 30 years old when he died.
Really?
So he was definitely, I would say the 20s, maybe early 30s.
Do you think those two should befriend this chick with all this rope?
Well, obviously they do.
Oh, you have a lot of rope. We need to climb a wall. Let's work together.
Well, they're both there to
Video game
steal.
if ever I saw one.
When you're both show up to rob the place, you have a choice: either kill each other or work together.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could
And that's Valeria, which is again huge in the comics. I was heartbroken and shocked when they killed her off.
Spoiler.
They could have just walked
Oh,
through the front door.
That's for the listeners, for the people that haven't seen this movie yet.
Oh,
Like
wait.
me and Corey just a couple days ago.
We don't have spoiler alerts?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
You could put in a little over top that if you want, but yeah. Actually, sadly, she never really made any other movies after this. She did what's that one with Rowdy Piper, Frogtown? Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah, she was in that one.
That's not a good follow-up.
No, I'm not saying it was, but that was the only one. And yet, I felt she did so incredibly well in this movie for what she was trying to portray.
Well, this is a hard movie to play a female character in and try to have any sort of character. Because, like, the females in this movie are not portrayed as characters, really. Like, they're...
Valeria is.
She's
The only
one.
that is.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It fails the Bechtel test or whatever the fuck that's called. Yeah, I mean...
The princess is barely a character.
She kind of reminded me of Princess Leia, and I didn't like Star Wars either.
You know, I kind of got that Princess Leia vibe from that whole thing.
And look, it's the KKK.
Yeah.
Corey knew where I was going with that one.
And they're led by Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at all weird.
Yeah, I don't think he was Darth Vader yet. No, he would have been too. That's right.
Yeah, because
He
that
would
would
have
have been
voiced the first
77.
movie.
Yeah, 77 would have been 5 years before this.
This was 82, so... Oh, Return of the Jedi came out in 83.
Yeah.
So, they stole the Princess Leia stuff from this one.
Wasn't it Empire?
Well,
Are we talking
came
about
out
Princess
in
Leia?
80.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm presuming
Return.
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
That's Return,
Which
yeah.
came after
Return of the
this.
Jedi was like 85 or 86,
83.
wasn't it?
83.
83? Are we 100% sure?
Yeah.
I'm Googling.
Okay.
Let's crawl through the sewer.
Speaking of Roddy Piper, I think we need to do They Live for one of these.
I am totally down for They Live. I love that movie.
That's such a good movie.
It is not aged perfectly, but yet,
But the theme has.
yeah, like They Live is one of those movies you always hear like, stop remaking good movies, start remaking bad movies. They Live is one of those movies that's kind of terrible, yet like the story's so fucking good in it that they could remake that into an excellent movie.
I think they would ruin the nostalgia of it. What year did you say Return of the Jedi was?
83.
Yeah, you were right. You were right.
Let's crawl into a room where there's a big-ass spider, but put our weapons away because it's sleeping.
Wasn't it a snake?
Or snake, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Definitely a snake.
But let's crawl into a room where there's a big-ass snake and put our weapons away.
Obviously.
I killed it in
It's
first.
fine.
Oh, when did Temple of Doom come out? Was that 85? Because this gave me some big Temple of Doom vibes right about here.
Yeah.
With the whole cult thing. Yeah, they covered up her boobs
It's
at least.
light boobs, but not.
Yeah. Why do I make the hair just cover up the nipple?
No, Temple of Doom was a year after this one.
Oh,
Or 2 years after this one.
84, not 85?
Yep.
I knew it was 84, 85. Man, I would be freaking out if I saw that fucking snake.
I would have killed the damn thing before I started robbing the place.
Yeah. Like, just stab it in its head while it's sleeping, Conan. You have the sword for it. Like, just do it, buddy. And I was a little confused who was the leader of the cult at this point upon first watching. Because, like, when the barbarians first come into town, kill Conan's people, the dude with the handlebar mustache kind of looks like the leader.
General type person.
Huh?
A general type person, yeah.
Yeah. And then, Thulsa Doom comes in and murders, but, like, I couldn't tell if he murdered him because he's, like, the first lieutenant or if he murdered him because he was, like, the head guy. So you see this handlebar guy here, and he's like, okay, well, he's actually the leader of the cult then. That makes some sense.
He's not the leader of the cult. He's a general of the cult.
Yeah, but at first viewing, that's what I thought that he was still. Because it's not perfectly portrayed who's who.
Well,
you find it out as the movie goes on, obviously. But
when James Earl Jones' character showed up, I thought that was a defined moment that he was a superior to handlebar guy.
No, I kind of felt like a lot of times in movies they make the second hand guy, like your right hand man, do the killing, right? It's a pretty...
It's like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, like the sheriff is the one that does all the dirty work, right?
But in Prince of Thieves, it's different than the other Robin Hoods because the sheriff was the head guy essentially, and he had his under guy do all the stuff.
Yeah, but still, the king was still the bad guy.
That wasn't the king.
Was there not a king in Prince of Thieves?
The king was...
Sean Connery showed up at the very end, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, the other king, though. Like, not King Richard, but the bad king.
He wasn't a king.
No, he wasn't. He was trying to supersede the king.
Yeah.
But he was decreeing... Never mind.
No, I 100% know what you mean, but yeah, no, he wasn't a king.
Yeah, but you get what I meant when I said that, right? Oh. And we're crawling out of tunnels. Like, what are you gonna do with that little knife? Wait a minute.
So much violence. Can't we all just get along?
Because that rope's gonna hold wrapped around his
I
pocket.
wonder if she's gonna be naked. Tear the rope out. Oh, she doesn't get to be naked. What the heck?
No, you see that later.
I almost feel like it's almost a disservice to Conan that he falls in love with this character because, like, feels like such a non-Conan thing to do.
I guess you need to read the comics. Valeria was one of his only true loves in the comics as well. Red Sonja was just a passing in the night type character in that sense.
So Red Sonja, I thought, what's the correlation there? I'm not 100% sure because I know Arnie's in the Red Sonja movie, but he doesn't play Conan.
Correct. They're different universes. Kind of thing. They probably had crossovers, but
she's in the Conan universe. Right?
Oh, possibly. Yeah, I mean, they're two different stories.
Not movie wise. I'm saying story and comic book wise.
So I don't think. Yeah. Well, Robert E. Howard did not create Red Sonja. Red Sonja, I believe, and I could be wrong. She came along much later.
Man, look at that wristband that he's got there. That's spiky.
That could do some damage.
Yeah. It's like he likes bludgeoning people in the face with his
forearms.
Yeah. To be fair, if I had forearms like Arnie, I'd bludgeon people in the face.
Yeah, I wouldn't need spikes.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if they're going to have a nudity scene here. They're going to the fire.
Well, she's a lead actress, so we might have some just tasteful side boob.
Yeah, I bet you it's just tasteful side boob. you can't have the lead actress doing like the.
I'm not saying it's not
I
going to happen.
mean, Sarah Connor showed her boobs in part 1.
73.
There's boobs.
What's 73?
That's when Red Sonja character was created.
Oh, so that's
Yeah.
pretty late in the game.
Well, that's what I mean. It was created after they came Marvel. So it was Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor who created them for Marvel.
That is interesting. I was unaware of the history of that character.
Robert E. Howard actually had a character named Ragatino, a female swashbuckler from a 1934 short story, and they made Red Sonja from that character.
I guess like that name's not marketable at all.
Probably. Well, neither was Schwarzenegger. But you made it work.
Can you guys imagine if they'd actually made Schwarzenegger change his name? I legitimately do not think he would have been near as iconic.
I mean, Van Damme.
Is that a different name?
Yeah.
What's his real name?
I can't remember.
Is it unpronounceable?
No, it's French, so it's like, yeah, maybe, but depending on the person. But
what if they like switched his name to like Arnold Smith?
yeah, Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwartz.
Yeah. He's Jewish? No, he's Austrian. Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't know the Austrians have a good history with the Jewish. This is very classy nudity here.
Like I said, she had the big money. She probably drew the lines on her. I mean, come on. Look, Game of Thrones had it all over the place. So
I don't know what it is about this when movies do. What was this? Would this be called Swords and Sandals? Is that kind of what this would be called?
I would say this is the forerunner. This is, Skrull. What's the one with Matthew Broderick? All these things kind of fell into this.
Ferris Bueller?
That's my favorite Sword and Sandal movie of all time. Ferris Bueller. Oh, Arnie, why did you get drunk? You should have never got drunk here. It is kind of. It feels so out of character right here. He's like so drunk he falls asleep in the slot. And that look on his face, he just looks so stunned. He's like, rah. I do appreciate that they didn't just capture him though. Like there was a legitimate logic to why they were able to capture him. It's like he got too fucking drunk. Oh. Yeah, you're not going to be able to pull the sword, lady. It reminds me of a funny anecdote at work. It was
antidote? Did you say antidote?
Well, you guys know what I meant.
If you're poisoned, you'd be covered.
Just curious.
So I needed some assistance at work. There's certain equipment you can't run by yourself. I called up everybody. And, people have their own free time, so sometimes it's hard to get a hold of workers. But I've got one reliable guy, Andy Haynes. If you're listening, buddy, give me a big shout out here. The first person to pick up his phone, maybe the second person. Jeremy might have picked up his phone, but he was also busy. So Andy picks up the phone, and God bless his heart, he goes, "Okay, well, yeah, I can come help you, Jeff. But does it matter? I'm a little drunk." I'm like, "Yes, Andy, you can't. You have to be sober to come help me." "Well, it's Jeff. Jeff, I'm coming, buddy. I'm gonna help you out." And his wife goes, "Andy, you're too drunk to fucking tie your shoelaces." I'm not. And his wife goes, "If you can tie your shoelaces, I'll let you go out and help Jeff."
Yeah.
He was so pissed ass drunk. He's just like, can't even get the boots on his feet. And I'm just kind of like, I really appreciate the offer. I really, truly do. I value that you are willing to do this for me. But no, I can't have you coming 3 sheets in the wind to come help me run the back truck. Thank you, dear sir.
What about 2 sheets?
No, he was probably 5 sheets in the wind, not 3.
But he said he didn't say no to 2 sheets.
Yeah, if you were 2 sheets to the wind, I probably would have taken them.
Okay.
I was pretty desperate. There was sewage going all over Big Valley Jamboree at the time.
Oh, that made it
Yeah, it's
more-
called the artist.
I remember that.
Yeah.
We just got off shift. I ran away.
Yeah, it took me so long to get out there because I couldn't find anybody to come with me. And by the time I found somebody, they were just like, no, we're just going to let it go. Oh, are you kidding me?
Well, they literally were. And then, you show up with the truck and we have to block off everybody from walking. You know how hard it is to tell a drunk you can't go to the toilet?
Oh, they'll just go wherever.
Oh, right? And when you're like doing this line in front of them, you gotta worry.
I still can't believe that was the solution to that night. Like, I knew something had to be done, and you can't have large equipment in there when you've got that many people in there. So it's a fair thing. But yeah, it's different. Man, this king just does not give a shit about his rubies, eh?
No, he just wants his daughter back.
Yeah, just wants his daughter back.
There's some moral uplifting portion of the movie that should help make up for the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to kidnap you guys while you're piss-ass drunk, and then I'm going to offer you rubies.
For his daughter.
I do like this king character. Like, it shows you, like, no matter how powerful you are in here, there's always a stronger and more mysterious force against you. But I feel like, guys, it's time we take a small commercial break. We cool with that, guys?
Okay.
So we are back. So we just passed where he finds the wizard. I love that voice. I could have him serenade me to death. Maku, I think, is the name of the actor. I want him to read my obituary.
So while he's acting or while he's narrating?
Well, he can narrate my obituary. If he was still alive, I'd ask him to come to my funeral and be talking. Maybe he could narrate my whole life. And I love this soft, subtle moment where Conan's just like, "Are there any flowers here?" "Oh, why?" "They're for the girl."
And then he finds the priest, and that priest was totally looking to get laid.
Maybe this is more historically accurate than you give it credit for, Laura. Priest looking at strong young men.
Oh, you're just being sexist.
Yes, sexist, yes. There's definitely an ist in there, but
I find it hilarious, Arnold going up to the priest and being like, "I'm just shy." "Oh my God, he's a strong."
You got a nice strong body.
"Can we talk about this in private?"
You don't think that was a dig on Catholicism?
Oh, that 100% was.
Yeah.
So I can't believe we haven't done it yet, but Dogma is on the fucking list one of these days.
as well it should be.
Yeah, because Catholicism.
Wow.
Wow.
Doesn't just pop, buddy Christ.
Oh.
I love
And
that.
now all I can think of is a Golgotham shit demon.
No man, woman born. That was Ethan Suplee too.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
that guy's jacked nowadays.
He is a fucking beast. I love that guy.
He could be on Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Septic.
No, this was
That's
before.
what he started with. He was in an interview. He started.
Did he?
Septic was good. What was his phrase? When the house is burning down, you just fucking gotta get out. And that was one of his.
I didn't realize Ozempic was that much of a thing back then because he's been jacked for a while now. So.
Oh yeah, probably 3 or 4 years at
Yeah,
least.
I didn't realize that Ozempic trend was.
Oh yeah, well,
Around that
it's
back.
much more trendy now.
Yeah.
But, that was one of his.
P.S. If you're taking medication that also makes you gain weight, Ozempic does nothing. I'm a little pissed off, I'm not going to lie. So
Are you on Ozempic?
I am
right
on
now?
Ozempic.
Yeah, look how strong and buffer he's looking.
What are you on?
So if I poke you, will you do the raspberry?
Legitimacy?
Yeah. Weight loss?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like Champex. It wasn't designed for quitting smoking. It just did a phenomenal
Well,
job.
the sleeping pills that I take were actually designed as antidepressants, and then they just knock people out. It's like, yeah, no, sleeping pills, that's what they are.
Well, you can't be depressed if you're asleep.
Well, that's my theory.
So why are you on Ozempic, or are we not going to talk about this?
Yeah, let's air it out to the world.
I am not.
Erectile dysfunction?
No, I'm not.
I have no idea.
What was that?
No. Ozempic was initially marketed for diabetes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know drugs.
No.
Me no drugs.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. I do know
Oh, that's right,
metformin
too. I forgot.
Which I-
diabetes. Yeah.
So my arm thingy,
I know.
yeah, because I was reaching in a box and I caught the box and tore out. So that didn't feel terrible or anything.
Yeah.
Which sucks because they're like $25 for 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. With coverage.
For the buttons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, mine worked out today reaching a box.
Again?
You know what?
Yeah.
Did that really hurt?
Yeah.
Okay, because in my mind, that is like the most painful thing I could imagine.
It's not the
when
needle
when
that
I
hurts,
see people.
it's the glue. Because
Oh,
that
really?
glue is solid.
Okay.
I can give you something that probably hurts a little bit more.
No, I'm sure there's more than hurts it.
First time watching this, I didn't realize that they had found Conan in the crowd like this. I'm just like,
Well, it's because he shows them that medallion that he stole.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
How did you not recognize that as James Earl Jones?
well, okay, at the beginning of the
long
movie,
ass hair.
It still looked like him.
when at this scene, I was just like, oh yeah, that's James Earl Jones, obviously. But like at the beginning of the movie with that fucking terrible haircut,
I'm pretty sure that was just a wig.
you think it's a wig?
I think it's a wig.
I just think his face, it's totally him.
It's crazy to think like less than 10 years later he made Field of Dreams, and then you look at him in this movie and you look at him in Field of Dreams, and it's just kind of like that's not even the same fucking person.
Look, cornstarch, you're in food day.
I don't know how you're even recognizing him right there, because it does not.
That totally looks like him.
It's the hair. The hair just totally.
I just don't look
Oh
like
my
his hair.
God! So Jeff's the guy that totally is convinced that Clark Kent is better different people.
Wait a minute. You're telling me mild manner reporter Clark Kent, accident-prone farm boy from Kansas, is Superman?
No.
No.
And that dude kissing your mom is not Santa.
Mike, that means we gotta break it to him that the tooth fairy isn't real either.
Oh.
Hey, as long as he keeps giving me money, I don't care if he's real or not.
So that guy there, like half of this cast, the filler, the warrior types, were a lot of Arnold's buddies in the gym.
Probably, yeah.
That one guy there is James Franco. He's like 5'5".
Franco.
James,
he's changed.
not
Different
James
James.
Franco. Is it James Franco? It's Frank something.
I think you're right that it's James Franco, because I remember reading the credits for this and he was like, James Franco?
Oh, sorry, Franco Colombo.
Oh,
Franco Colombo.
yeah.
Mike, I have to ask because you read the comics. I didn't. Did most of the henchmen run around wearing pirate costumes?
Oh, every episode, like I said, every episode was completely. Sometimes they were in Asia, and sometimes they were in Africa. Like Conan was this nomad, so it depended on where they were. Sometimes it was Arab, sometimes they were pirates, type thing. They covered a lot of ground, all running too.
There was a lot of swashbuckling, was there not?
There's the stories of Conan on the ocean and the sea and blah blah.
Well, it's because the one henchman he's open jacket, pirate boots.
Yeah.
Superhero landing.
That was not a superhero landing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's an anti-superhero landing. I have the power over flesh.
Well, apparently flesh is stronger than steel.
Well, wood. Maybe flesh is stronger than wood.
Well, obviously it was because it went through it.
Yeah.
This is actually a good example of a good movie being defined by a great villain. Which, surprisingly, I'm surprised James Earl Jones ever got out of villainy. With the two most, the one arguably the most prolific villain that ever existed in cinema, being Darth Vader, and then being such good at this role and stuff like that.
But didn't he just voice him?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Prowse was the
David Prowse was the.
Oh, and David
I met him a couple times.
Was he not a mountain of a man?
He was like 70, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was like 6'6", 6'7", professional bodybuilder. That's why they brought him in. He did some crosswalk commercials in England.
Oh yeah, I remember the crosswalk.
Yeah.
That was when he passed away. The crosswalk commercials were all over the internet.
There's a weird story behind him in Star Wars. He was always pushed out and shunned from conventions. He had to
nobody knew who he was.
Well, I know, but he was still part of it.
Yeah, but no, that was exactly the reason, though. You'd be like, I'm Vader. No, you're not.
I gotta know, Mike, is this Tree of Woe, which I kind of laugh at the Tree of Woe because it's a wrestling saying now, the Tree of Woe.
It's not upside down.
It's a lot, the Wolverine thing, this is all from this. That
imagery with him chained to the tree, that looks like a comic book panel to me.
It is.
It is.
And Marvel took it and they used it with Wolverine.
Yeah, with the X. Yeah.
And I've never heard of Vulture dying, but that sounded like a dying cat.
Yeah. This is probably like the most graphic it gets for Arnie himself. Like that imagery of the vulture chewing on him.
I don't know, the dude chewing him in the pit in the gladiator.
No, to me this is worse than that for me.
Well, the vulture actually pulls skin.
Yeah, like that's, I don't know, it's something about like picking away at a live body, like an animal picking away at a live body. Yeah, it's bugged.
They just need Timon and Pumbaa to come save him.
Yeah. Well, here comes Timon right now.
So, when I watched this, I think
bowling for buzzards.
it reminds me of two other movies. One was Beastmaster with Mark Singer.
Oh, jeez.
I loved it as a kid just because I was an animal kind of guy. I loved the animals. And the other one were the Barbarians, the Barbarian brothers. They made about 4 or 5 movies. They were identical twins, and they were bodybuilders. They were goofy and weird and tried to make a mark, but they were just too terrible of actors.
I actually quite liked, there was a bit of a revival in the late 90s, early 2000s of this kind of film, but in TV. Like, I think it was on the back of Hercules.
Xena and Hercules.
And I fondly remember the Beastmaster TV show. I didn't realize that was a movie series until.
I think Mark Singer was in that one too. I think he played a different character, or as if the Beastmaster was younger and this was the original, something like that.
Really?
I think Bruce Campbell did snippets in one of the two. I think it was Hercules.
I think it was both Hercules and.
Well, they were technically. It was like Buffy and Angel. It was the same universe, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just remember some of his lines were so good. Like the one line is like, "Oh God, I'm blind. I promise, I'll sing in the shower from now on."
3 seasons, 1999, and he was in it. He played Dartanus, and the lead, I assume, was Daniel Goddard, who played Dar. So
Dartanus and Dar, very similar names. Because I could see how
that would probably be the angle they're going for.
Didn't one of the Beastmaster movies he travels through time?
Yes.
I want to say so.
Third or 4th one.
Like that's when you know, like, I'm kind of glad Conan never got to that point where it's just like, oh, I'm going to travel to the future.
No, they jumped the shark with Momoa, and I liked Momoa, but that new movie was bad.
Wait, what?
Jason Momoa was the modern Conan movie. They made it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like somebody took paint by hand after the movie was filmed and filmed it, just put it in. It was just like everything had to be so bloody.
I do appreciate how it kind of comes full circle. The thief that he saved his life from being chained to a wall is now the guy that saves Conan. I do appreciate that full circle storytelling, right? He never got the flowers to his girl though.
No, they took him away from him.
Yeah, I feel so bad. He had so many flowers to give her. Oh well.
That's okay. They kidnapped the princess. It's all good.
Yeah, because you got to kidnap the princess.
I mean, if your name is Bowser.
Well,
Or Jabba the Hutt.
she could be.
I guess Princess Leia never got kidnapped. Or if your name's Darth Vader.
Who never got kidnapped?
Princess Leia never got kidnapped by Jabba the Hutt.
I mean,
She got
captured.
Sold
enslaved.
to him by Darth Vader.
No.
No.
Han
Because they
Solo-
took him.
Han was sold to her. She went in dressed in that.
Oh, right, yeah. It was
Yeah.
a failed rescue.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right,
yeah.
You're right, yeah.
This is a really bad attempt at a hammock.
Sandal Bergman is the actress that played Valeria. She's 72.
Do they actually even say her name in this one? Because I don't remember
Yes,
them saying
a
that.
couple times. They're not. They not a whole lot of hammering in on that one.
Do you think she still looks the same?
I'm gonna say no.
I love the comic cartoon type special effects.
Yeah.
In the day, it was fantastic.
This is honestly, I like this scene still.
Yeah.
So
Oh, see, this is the kind of stuff I don't like in movies. And the reason why there's the red and black, I would imagine, is to actually make the cartoon look better. Like I bet you if you had this in like true color, like it wouldn't have looked as good as it did. But it's not bad. And I do consider the day.
I honestly thought the snake scene earlier was
I
quite
was
well
impressed
done.
with that.
Yeah.
Too.
The snake scene was actually quite well
Because
done. I
they
would
mixed
give it
in the practical with the green screen so seamlessly
Yeah.
that it was really, really well done, I thought. So
I assume in the day they had a whole bunch of people that really knew colors and shit. That knew that if we blend in this color with that color, it'll be tighter. Yeah, to use a term I can't think of, but yeah.
Those are, they're not as inventive anymore. Movies.
We're good.
Except,
We're good.
yeah, except for some stuff knocked over here.
Yeah, but it didn't explode the building, and I didn't wreck anything. I just.
Oh crap! That means I gotta check my work phone.
There we go. Everything's cool.
we're good.
Yeah.
We're
The
good.
Care Bears survived.
That's too bad.
You
I
have
mean,
Care Bears?
Yeah,
It's
we're
a box,
puzzled.
a puzzle.
Yeah, it's only
You're a bitch.
about $400 of the merchandise there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Like I said, the bottom is good. The top, not as much.
So it's-
Yeah, knocking off the Funkos might not be.
Okay, so you only have to play like 20,000 piece pickup.
yeah, right.
Holy shit! I seen the puzzle. Somebody bought a 750,000 piece puzzle. It came and she pulled out like
Oh, I saw that.
bags, like about
Yeah.
that big, and there was like 5 of these bags.
Yeah.
And just boom.
Where the hell is she building that?
Big ass floor.
It was
But
big. It was
I
big.
totally saw that exactly.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
She bought a.
We built a puzzle for Christmas for Logan and us, and we would build it. It was missing one fucking piece.
Oh, it's the biggest heartbreak in the world.
Like
That's
it's
the
brand
worst.
new and missing one piece?
I don't know whether it was brand new or used or not, but I just remember. There it is. That's the one I have at home. Sorry, saw it on TV.
I can't believe Arnie.
The
was
wall
part of
hanger
it.
version of it. So, but yeah, I can't remember whether it was new or not, but it
Look at his
was.
triceps. Like, holy crap.
They're the size of my
He's
head.
won some awards for those things,
Yeah.
even after this movie.
Like his biceps, they're good, sure. His forearms are good, but his triceps are freaking gargantuan.
He's got a dark history in bodybuilding.
What do you mean?
Wasn't he like severely traumatized?
He had some trauma, but he pulled some shit that shouldn't. He'd give young bodybuilders tips about eating lots of salt the day before.
To make the veins pop?
Well, what it does is it makes you retain water, is what salt also does. And there was, during the one Mr. Olympia, they had changed the rules and went into weight categories. He's a big man. He's 6'2". He's pushing 300 but then they categorized it so that Franco Columbu and shorter people had their own category. And he came in, and because he was a star at this point, after Conan, after some of these movies, he said, no, we got to make it all one so I can be one more Mr. Olympia. Supposedly, allegedly. Let's use the word allegedly.
Well, you know what? He's probably the biggest name in bodybuilding of all time.
Oh, yeah. There's people that have won more Olympias than him, but nobody set precedents like he did. You know, he was the first type thing.
And he was so funny because he was so typical bodybuild in the fact that he had this guy ginormous torso, but like a size 32 waist.
Yeah.
The camel scene earlier, do you think that was on purpose or by accident when he's...
when he's trying to... Well, they asked him, have you ever been on a camel before? And then he's like,
No!
Yeah.
Which one? Was that the one where he punched it?
No.
When he tried to saddle it and he all awkwardly.
I just seen a clip the other day about bloopers that they kept in the movie because it worked. And that is, remember in Rocky, he's running down Philadelphia and somebody throws him an orange?
Yeah.
That was somebody, they weren't supposed to do it. They didn't get permits to shoot, so they just, fuck it, we'll just shoot it anyway. He ran down the market, and people just started to follow him. And then through that point, apparently somebody threw him an orange.
Okay.
And it all worked out, so they kept it in.
This part of the movie pisses me off. Like, they traveled to the future and copied Gautier, somebody I used to know, for this scene. And, I hate copyright infringement.
The one that I was thinking of when they were putting all the body paint on was
Braveheart?
No, Quest for Fire.
Quest for Fire.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That's not to be confused with Caveman.
Or Superman.
Or Chariots of Fire.
Right, or any of those ones. Yeah.
I can't say as I've ever heard of that before, Laura.
Yeah, I've never either.
Quest for Fire?
Yeah.
I've been subjected
to it. It's a kind of a Neanderthal kind of caveman type.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Which makes sense by title, but yeah.
Huh. I thought it would have been a modern day thriller.
No.
That's like that one joke. It's like, oh, I'm watching this movie called Killer Sharks. Really, what's it about? It's about a dog who does ballet.
81. And it had Cheech's daughter, Ray Dong Chong. It had Ron Perlman before he was Ron Perlman.
Chong would be Tommy's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say Cheech?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's an easy slip of the tongue. It's
like calling you Jeff or Jeff you.
Yeah, but that's not allowed.
It's been done.
But it's not allowed.
And spelling your name with an E.
You know what? I don't want to fight now.
You know what? I don't want to what?
I don't want to fight now. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Are you a lover?
Not really.
Man, just naked people hanging upside down. See, I thought you'd love this movie. You love movies about naked people hanging upside down, Laura.
I thought you were going to call me out, and then I was in Laura. I'm like, oh, why? Zip.
You tell me you don't love movies with people hanging upside down naked being tortured in like a dark, dingy area? Not quite a basement, but sometimes a basement.
One movie.
There was a movie you actually liked, naked people hanging upside down?
Strangeland.
Yeah. She was.
I like that movie.
And yet it's got a lot of the stuff that you hate in this movie.
It's not the fact that I hate it. It's extremely overdone in this one.
And it's not in Strangeland?
Okay, again, longer.
Not really.
There's only so many tits and ass you can deal with
Right?
Then
And
you get
Robert,
uncomfortable, and then it's just like weird and
and
awkward.
Robert England is in Strange Land.
I do appreciate the look of the three, like Conan the Thief and
The
Valeria.
Yeah.
Uh, and
The Thieves, yeah.
What's his name?
I just said the Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
And they're just like, ooh, look at all these naked people just lounging about.
I only saw one naked person so far. A lot of them were wearing cloths over there.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm so
so
disappointed.
Should we define naked?
Yes.
Do you have to be completely 100% fabric free to be naked?
I made a joke, not even a joke, a commentary once about how literally putting your fingers over your nipples is no longer nudity.
Well, technically it's not anymore.
I know, but that's all it takes. And yet nipples are the one thing that guys and girls share.
You know what? I'm going to go to work one day just covering up my nipples.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And you're not
I'm
naked.
like, you guys can't fire me. I'm
Nope.
not naked.
Yes,
I'm
but you
just-
gotta also keep the screen and belly button up. You can't.
Oh, God.
Whenever I talk to anybody at work, it'll be behind a desk that conveniently covers up that area.
I can just see
God, I love the imagery in this movie.
I can just see Jeff with the star pasties.
Or the freaking tassels.
This reminds me too much
That's creepy.
of Return of the Jedi, and I did not realize that Return of the Jedi stole it from this. Like, the way he's sitting on that throne and the way she's off to the side like that, I did not like the snake.
Werewolf in London.
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so.
Effects.
Rick Baker?
Brilliant effects.
Yeah.
Practical
Rick Baker.
effects.
So I've seen a werewolf in Paris, but I've not seen a werewolf in
What?
London.
Paris is not good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not terrible, but it's not good.
Yeah, I remember it not being very good.
It had a great soundtrack, but
And then I hear all this stuff like, oh my God, Werewolf in London, Werewolf in London. I was like, that was a terrible movie. And then I realized, oh no, I watched Paris, not London.
yeah, no. London, like, I freaking love Rick Baker's work. Look up anything Rick Baker has done for special effects, and wow. Him and Stan Winston are like gods in their field.
So Stan Winston, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So he's up there turning into a snake and doesn't see those two?
Yeah, not a very good snake guy, is he? You tell me they didn't steal that for Return of the Jedi, like that exact shot. With like the
With a
princess
snake?
there.
I'm confused.
With like the throne imagery and the princess off the side chain wearing like virtually nothing.
How many variations or options do you have?
It,
I mean,
it's a very similar image.
you have a lot. Well, sure, absolutely. I mean, you know.
And it's been on a very similar time frame. Like a year apart, right?
And yet people will now say, oh, you ripped this off of that, you ripped this off. And it's such a big thing now, and yet it happened. It's been happening for years, and nobody says anything about it.
Yeah, you know, on that same note, everybody's talking about how Star Wars ripped so much off of Dune. Well, Dune ripped so much off of another movie, and so on. It all goes back to something that was written in 1855 that was the exact same story as Star Wars because it went down the same damn line.
I mean, Bram Stoker's Dracula was 1896.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and it's the same thing. Like you know, I mean, there's no such thing as an original idea. There's an original way to tell the same story. You know.
there's this book, I haven't heard of it, called The Bible. Worst collection of stories ever.
Yeah, they just ripped that off of something some other guy wrote the other day.
Totally.
I read it at a Scientology meeting, and they just ripped off the Scientology book.
Spoiler alert, he dies in the end.
Jeff, you went to a Scientology meeting?
Apparently that was a joke.
Anyway, as I said, anymore was the end of that sentence. I mean, all the original ideas are taken.
Yeah.
Why would these three be able to just massacre all these people? Like, there's guards there. Like, there's dozens of people in this orgy. You think they just all suck because, like...
Well, you know, they're all stoned and hopped up on whatever,
People soup!
you know, people soup that they're on. They're all in trances. And the Franco Columbos, where are they? Are they, you know, it's... And you're Conan. He's like the hero of heroes, right?
Apparently he doesn't.
There they are.
Yeah, finally. Apparently they don't get to join in the orgy,
That's what I
right?
mean by the whole
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
No.
No more people soup.
I feel like this had been done to death in the 80s too, like the whole dump like a big hot pot of stuff onto people. They did that so much back then. They did a lot of tropey stuff that I don't know. I don't know if it became trope because of this movie or was prior to this, right?
I kind of think when they were doing his body paint, they were trying to make him look like a cheetah.
A cheetah?
Yep.
You know cheetahs have spots, right?
So does he, kinda.
They're distinctly stripes, actually.
No.
They're more shapes than anything.
Well,
Like I said, they were trying.
if we
They
were
failed pretty fucking badly.
How about this? They were trying to make him look like a hyena.
I would like say a zebra, if anything.
No, zebra stripes are pretty uniform.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. But I would still say zebra before I say cheetah.
I would say a lot of things before I'd say cheetah. What the hell are you on?
Leopard?
Could be a leopard.
And what the fuck happened to the leopard that was just in the scene like 5 minutes ago before they started attacking the place?
I don't think that's relevant to the plot of the story, I'm guessing.
I think the kitty died.
Oh.
Or ran away. Cats typically don't like public confrontation. They sneak up behind you.
Oh, look, she's the love of my life. I'm going to make sure she stayed behind while I'm carrying this fucking princess over my shoulders. Of course, I guess it does show the faith he has in her as a character to, like, get by herself.
Actually, that's very much how I felt about this. Like, Valeria was looked at as an equal, as a partner, as a team. There was never this, I look down upon you for being a woman or anything like that. And that's one of the things I've always respected about this movie.
I actually really do appreciate that creative decision, to be fair. I always hate it when, like, oh, there's a big, strong female character, and then somehow or other she gets herself fucking kidnapped and they need to go rescue her.
And as an actress, she handles herself very well for the time and era.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women, they don't hold up to that physicality from that era.
Yeah, like, why am I forgetting Sarah Connor's name?
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton. She's a good actress that could show you, hold up to the physicality. Even though that physicality wasn't there in the first one.
Which is funny because she's very skinny.
But that's fair enough.
But she was also very lean and, like,
Mm-hmm. Lean doesn't mean physical, especially when you're a female, right?
But she was, like, lean and toned.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, there's a lot of things to be said. 10 pounds of muscle, and then you lose 30 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
And what difference that makes. And yeah, they're probably a fair bit bigger than they were, but because they leaned up so much, it's kind of confusing.
This snake arrow thing kind of confuses me.
Considering he's got a quiver?
Yeah, he's using quiver. Why do you gotta, like...
Because if you make the snake go rigid, you can whisper seek to it, and it's like a homing missile.
Yeah.
And that's the magic of it. Now, you guys, also, I don't think any of you were ever into D&D or anything like that.
Oh, I 100%
You were?
am, yes.
You were? So there's the appreciation a little bit more onto that realm of why it was a snake arrow rather than a wood. What?
He's over here going, like, stop her.
You weren't cool enough to be invited to D&D, Corey?
No.
Yeah.
No
Or it has
interest.
nothing to do with the cool factor, right?
No interest whatsoever.
It probably plays into why you're not a big fan of acting. Or are you a big fan of acting? Well, no,
Wow.
he said he'd never do it. He does the words, the dialogue.
Yeah, my first one and my last one, yep.
I would not put words into him in that sense.
Yeah, that's not where I thought you were going with that.
Well, I would not blatantly do that to him. He's that was his first role. I would never discourage anybody their first time out. It's like going camping. If your kids aren't comfortable, they'll never do it again.
I'll never discourage him his first time out, but having seen him, I really hope he doesn't do it again.
I think this is not a career choice for you.
Yeah, maybe don't quit your day job.
But I don't want to discourage your first time. Maybe if you do it a second time, though.
Well, there's a point where you just got to wake up and smell the coffee. Look, you know what? Here's some knitting needles, some yarn. Maybe try this for a while.
I think what it comes down to is, like I said, I think the timing, right?
Yeah.
I'm so distracted right now. Maybe a year or two down the road, I'll think about it again, but it is zero on my radar right now. So
that's absolutely, we'll be here in a year or two.
yeah, and
if
you
change
know
your
I
mind.
support you guys 120%.
Yeah.
So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you know my first time acting, I won a miniature Oscar?
yeah, I did. He did. You did. I think everybody did but me, actually.
I need like a little Grammy or whatever to give to James.
A Grammy?
A Grammy.
Is he singing?
Shut up. I
Okay.
need an award for James.
So go to an award shop. Go order online. You can order mini Oscars online.
No, I don't want an Oscar. It wasn't Oscar. What did I say it was?
A Grammy.
No. When I was here.
A Tony?
A Tony, that's what it was.
You
Broadway?
just said
Yes.
Grammy.
I know I just said Grammy, but when he was doing the commercial.
That would be an Emmy.
That's what a Tony looks like.
No, I needed the Tony.
Yeah.
That's what I
Tony
said.
is for Broadway.
Well, he was
Emmy
kinda
is for
on-
TV.
He was kind of on Broadway.
As much as I
Golden
love,
Globe is TV?
Golden Globe is everything.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that was a Golden Globe, not an Emmy. That was a
Okay.
Golden Globe performance, not an Emmy.
But I told him I
performance.
was going to get him one.
Anyway.
He really did fall into that role.
He did.
I love when he started traveling too. I'm like, oh, he's coming out here.
Yeah, that's actually in the commercial.
I know.
Along with Jeff and I laughing and like running through the
There was a
hills.
commercial? What are we talking
James made a commercial for this place.
Oh, a reel or whatever.
It was just a video we put on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on the page.
You
Like
should share it on the TikToks.
but all of a sudden he's like, he moves from the back and he's coming out here and all you hear from Corey is, oh, he's traveling, and we're like scattering.
yeah, because we were still working out here, so
Yeah, we were just like, oh, he's coming into our area.
I thought he was just staying back there. Okay.
To be fair, I don't think a lot of thought was put into the commercial. It was just kind of like, hey, we're going to do a commercial, and then he just kind of
He did it
Oh,
on
is
the
that the
fly.
one where, your son, yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I understand the confusion because he falls into the Mario so
Right.
deeply.
Is he-
You don't even realize it's an actor.
Did any of you check out my jump scare video I put out?
I have
I
not
haven't
seen
seen
your
it.
jump scare.
Oh, fuck, I was very proud of it for being a plotted and planned for 10 minutes, and then, okay, let's do it. So, yeah. I throw it all on your website or on the messages.
I saw it. I don't click a lot of videos that go on the messages. So.
Well, neither did I, but it took a long time to load on mine.
Yeah, a few people were saying that.
Oh, I actually think that's why I didn't watch it because I clicked on it and it did not
It
load.
could have been
Yeah.
done.
Is anyone else having internet problems?
They've been off and on the last, I don't know, a few months to me.
It's
like freezing
terrible
out.
in my home. Like I can hardly watch anything on the internet anymore. It's just infuriating.
Who were you with?
I guess switched back to TELUS, and I'm just like, why did I switch back to you guys? I like remember all these troubles I had first time I was with TELUS.
Honestly, I'm with Eastlink, and we had massive issues.
Yeah.
Kathy's business just switched to Elon Musk's one, whatever that
Oh,
is.
Starlink.
Starlink. They're happy at the moment with that, but
That's expensive though. $150 a month, I hear.
I don't know. It's a business, a company, so they probably pay a corporate thing.
I have heard it's like amazing service.
Yeah.
When I move out to the farm, I think we're going to get it. But it is an expensive service.
Yeah.
But I also think we're going to get rid of cable TV once we move out to the farm. We're just going to go.
You still have cable TV?
I
I
got
still
rid of
have
it
cable.
now.
Well,
Oh, it goes with the
cable.
flip phone, right? I forgot.
No, I got it because it was a good deal with the landline.
Sorry. That didn't help your case.
Okay.
But, okay, ironically...
It works well with my rotary phone, okay?
Okay, so
happening?
I'm trying. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Holy
know.
crap.
Yeah, there's a big section there where you were just disappeared there, Laura.
I have no idea.
You're probably pointed in the wrong direction.
Well, I mean,
Well, it was working that way before.
did somebody leave her thing muted?
No.
I did that on our third episode. It's just like I went halfway through the podcast and it's like, shit, I'm muted.
Oh.
Thank God I project well enough. I was picked up by Danielle's mic.
She's done it a couple times. You've been watching it where it gets like you disappear, Laura. Sorry.
Okay.
This time I disappear. Wow,
So,
wow.
I have a problem with how quickly bodies burn in movies. You guys ever, now, not that I'm expecting you guys to say yes to this, but have you guys ever tried to burn a body? It does not go well.
My lord told me to not agree to that.
So,
Oddly enough,
say yes, I'm probably going to have the cops called on me.
That's why I said my lawyers told me not to answer that question.
My lawyer's a dipshit.
I swear to God, I don't know what I sat on, but I've been getting on TikTok. But something now I'm getting all these crematorium TikToks. How we do it, how much heat you need. This is why sometimes we use a box, sometimes a coffin.
God
and
damn
it's
it,
just like,
Zuckerberg.
what the hell? How the hell did I get on this side of TikTok?
Interesting to know. I mean,
And man, just 2 seconds too long in any TikTok, and bam, you suck it.
I don't do short form videos hardly, so that's why I never really could get into TikTok.
Oh, the TikTok it's probably best for your mental health and your physical health.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get the TikToks.
You can do any length now. I downloaded accidentally the entire second episode of Raging Imagination on TikTok. It's like, holy shit, it took it?
Wow.
Holy cow. I don't think it's got any views, but
Yeah, TikTok, if it's any longer than like 5 minutes, people are swiping up. Like, that's the problem with TikTok. No one's got any attention span on that thing.
Yeah, TikTok is meant to be short form content.
Yeah. I do appreciate how, like, it's not an 80s movie unless there's some trap setup scene where you're going to have something that's spring-loaded, but all you're using is a rope and a piece of wood, and then you got to sit there, you got to wait for everybody, and, like, it's okay because we've prepared for them.
It's okay. I'm a limo driver.
It's not the only time Arnie's done it in the 80s. Like, he did it in Predator, did he not?
Probably.
Like,
You set up traps there, so it makes sense if you did.
well, yeah, you have to set a predator for a trap for a predator. It's alien with cloaking devices and lasers.
I don't know if they ever, like, set up traps in any of the Alien movies, do they? I've never seen Aliens, so, like, I don't remember.
Like
That's the
Cameron
one, right?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
and yet, Corey, he is deprived.
Once again, I want to do a topic in which we talk about movies that we haven't seen.
So Corey and I are just going to list horror movies, and you're going to look at us like, what?
Horror movies that you haven't seen?
That's gonna be a short list.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think you understand the
I
assignment.
can name probably about 10,000 romance movies that I haven't seen.
But the topic being as movies you can't believe you haven't seen that you'd want to have seen.
Oh.
It doesn't necessarily need to be movies that you want to see. It's just like, can't believe you haven't seen that movie.
Like the only one that's coming to mind for me, I guess we shouldn't spoil this if we're gonna make a topic.
Right,
So.
yeah.
Look at the horns on Arnie's head there.
He sure is horny.
Yeah.
And those
Did you guys
white
ever-
teeth, God.
Did you guys ever see Talk to Me?
What's Talk to Me?
It's a horror.
It sounds so familiar.
It's relatively, it's like a year old or so. It's about this hand that's heirloom or whatever from whatever, and if you grab the hand and light the fire, you get possessed by somebody on the other side. And then a bunch of kids found this hand,
Oh,
and they would
play
keep
the game.
and they were playing the game, and then it got all carried away. It was
I'm pretty sure I saw the trailer for
The
sure.
one who holds on to the hand too long and she ends up just like completely possessed.
for in the real time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was no, I won't spoil it, but it was a really good movie. I really liked the ending and everything.
You should watch, because it's not really a horror, but it's really good. No One Will Save You.
Oh, okay.
It's on Disney Plus. But it's not a Disney movie.
Oh, okay.
It's an alien invasion movie, but it's set up as atmospheric. Like you don't see anything till like near the end, but it's like Signs but good. Anyway, that's what it's called. But no,
You know what? I love Signs.
I didn't mind it. It was okay.
But yeah, no, take a watch. It was really good.
What was that other one I watched too? It's what the hell was it? It's Peel, the latest Peel.
Oh, the latest
Nope.
one?
What's that?
Nope.
Nope.
No, yeah.
Don't spoil
No.
it.
That's why I asked first.
I've been meaning to see Nope for a while now. I just haven't had the chance to.
Yeah.
I had it queued up one night, and then my daughter just like came in, and then I had to spend a half hour trying to get back to bed.
Those spikes did nothing. There's nothing. But I get why.
Yeah, he's just rolling them.
Flatten them down.
I can't believe they had enough time to get this many spikes in the ground. That's a lot of wood to whittle.
Really?
This is when the movie got brought me back into it. Is right about here, like when they capture the princess. Yeah, the movie had lost me a little bit at that point, and then I got really engaged in this fight scene here at this headstone-looking stuff. It's interesting that you call this like a spaghetti western set. So like,
Well, so I understand where Mike's coming from on that one because this is.
All those Western movies are filmed in the same place.
Yes.
well, I was gonna ask a question about that. Is this in Italy then?
Yes. It's Italian director too.
Oh, is this an Italian director?
Yeah.
Right?
It's
Did they do the what was it called? Like a Tower of Babel type thing? I do think the references were like
he just got stabbed in the ass.
Yeah.
you do the movie in a bunch of different languages because you have actors from all over the world and they just speak their own tongue.
Oh, I don't know.
Actually,
That's how they did it in the spaghetti westerns, like the legit spaghetti westerns. Like if there was a Mexican actor who spoke in Spanish. There was there was a different European one who spoke in such. And Clint Eastwood, obviously American, right? Lee Van Cleef, American.
This movie would not have got past the animal rights people
Today
with the horses. The fact that the horses are getting like their necks twisted and drop down, and then they get back up and all, but still they would not get past the animal people.
I'm sure this was a big trigger back in the day with PETA.
Man, I'm impressed that he
Would
had
it have
time to
been
build
though?
that trap.
Pardon?
would it actually have been back in '82?
They would have started. I remember the early seedlings of PETA and Greenpeace and all that stuff were starting to go. They were small and whatever.
When did they start putting the warning on the back of movies? Because you'll see that on all movies now. No animals were harmed in the film of this movie, but I don't think that was around in the early '80s yet.
No, not
I
yet.
thought that was for like '90s.
I feel like it began in the late '80s. Maybe it began in the early '90s. Oh, man, sweet outfit, chick. I really feel like that was the inspiration for the Red Sonja stuff, to be perfectly honest. That Valhalla stuff she's wearing there.
Well, there she's a Valkyrie.
A Valkyrie, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Arnie's gonna fuck you up, dude. Like, look, you're old and everything like that, and he's like, Arnie, he's trained by all these guys. He's gonna fucking
The fact
fuck you
that
up.
Arnold's in his 20s in this, right? Like that's insane.
Well, like, people age differently in the
Okay,
'80s.
I got an answer. The Doberman Gang was the first movie to include no animals were harmed. Ended credits in 1972.
The Doberman Gang?
The Doberman, like the
As in
dog.
the dog, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Doberman.
Doberman. And it was by the American Humane Society.
Oh, don't leave me, my lord. Oh, fuck you, bitch. I'm getting out of here. He killed all my people. But I'm going to try a snake arrow again. Stupid snake arrow. I appreciate how the princess isn't the love interest in this movie. Because that could have been such an easy thing to do.
They did it in the second one.
Did they do it in the second one?
Something along that line. There was, yeah, whatever. It was she was the big flirt, and then this and that, whatever.
There were some quality story decisions in this movie. Say what you will about, whether or not this is a style of movie you like or the kind of story that you like. Oh, his dad's broken sword.
See, the more that I think of it, Mike is probably hit the nail right on the head. It's the style. I don't like the style.
Well, Jeff's like, yeah, the style is what made this movie. Tell us before, like, fuck the style.
Well, it's not a style I generally like, to be perfectly honest. It's why I've never sought this movie before, right?
See, I've seen this one before.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hit you the same back then, did it?
Oh no, I probably blocked it out.
I've seen the second one, and I distinctly did not like.
I would not have wanted to watch this one if I watched the second one first.
Well, I was unaware that there was more than one back then, right?
I honestly don't think I've ever, number 2 is one that I have not watched.
I kind of want to give number 2 a chance because I hear it's campier, and sometimes I like that, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. To me, the only thing is like you create the tone of this movie, and then the sequel becomes campier. Kind of like, Fast and Furious 4.
Well, they could have stopped after number 1.
Well, the first 3 were actually somewhat serious.
No,
and then
not number 2. Number 2 was probably the worst.
They didn't do
movie.
anything. I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying they didn't
Tokyo
do it.
Drift was pretty bad too.
They didn't.
You take that back. Tokyo Drift's the best Fast and Furious movie.
Which one is that?
You
3.
can take that back.
3 was a good movie. It just didn't feel like the same movie.
Yeah, well,
I was like fast. It was like a racing in Japan.
Great for us to Jeff saying that Tokyo Drift was the best one is like somebody coming up to us and saying Season of the Witch was the best in that series.
Oh.
Right?
They tied it back.
4 was the first real tie-up one, I think.
Yes.
For
Fast and Furious.
okay, so to me, that's when they started getting jumping too much, flying too much. I mean, we didn't quite get the Fiero in space yet, but you could tell we were heading that direction on 4.
I don't remember which one it was, but I just remember Vin Diesel comes and he uses the car in the air to fucking hit something else in like a different direction.
Oh, I remember
I'm
that.
just like, what the fuck is that?
Honestly, as much as I didn't like the third, it was so good. I liked the first 6 Fast and Furious movies, and I stopped watching them after that.
When they went to space,
I didn't watch
I was
that.
done.
Yeah.
I was unaware that there was a debate on which the Fast and Furious movies got bad, because I guess accepted that after Tokyo Drift, everybody kind of thought they were all kind of bad after that.
They were all. My thing is that the first 3 were at least grounded in reality, and then on 4 they started getting really campy and pushing, gravitational pull.
The second one's like the campiest one of them all, like the bad villain with the fucking snakes and that shit. I guess it's more grounded than taking a
At least it was
space.
reality based, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, more so than Fiero's in space.
Okay, Thulsa Doom's a fucking idiot here. Guess oh, Conan's up here, huh? He just murdered all my people. Him and his buddy just murdered a dozen of my people. I'm just gonna sit here talking to him.
But I gave you the will to live, so therefore I am your father.
It's
Yeah.
the arrogance,
I really was hoping that he would go, I am your father. Did anybody else hope he would say it like that?
Nope.
No.
My son. What's with James Earl Jones playing diabolical father figures? I guess Mufasa's not diabolical, but still.
But just during this time, and then he became the good guy.
You see his face, and you think one thing and one thing only. That's why he did animation.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly why. Wow, I'm so shocked. He tried to cut my fucking head off.
You mean it wasn't for the cheesy mannequin chop scene?
He's not shocked that he's trying to cut his head off. He's shocked that his spell didn't work, that he couldn't control him and manipulate him like he does all the other minions. He's just a stupid barbarian.
Mm-hmm. This is a good imagery with him fucking walking out with this skull.
But as the comics go, Conan is known for his intelligence as well. His what do you call that?
He didn't seem that intelligent in this.
Well, no, this is like year one of Conan type thing. You know, we got to see how he became into there. This is his early journeys, right? Be like Batman Begins.
Yeah, but Batman.
In that sense.
Yeah. Okay.
We get to see him becoming his first type stuff.
Well, and it is an interesting origin story.
Yeah.
Like all the muscle from the slavery right at the beginning. What do they call that wheel thing?
It's a mill of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were grinding, whether it was a wheat mill or whatever, or grain.
So now that we're nearing the end here, I'm going to ask everybody where this movie belongs in the video store. And I think I'm going to go to my left here first. Corey, where does Conan the Barbarian
I'm
belong?
glad you didn't go to his right. I really didn't care what they had to say.
Well, you can't even have a great opinion.
Once again,
This is why
the
you hear me.
people listening to this podcast cannot tell there's a wall to my right. Corey, where does Conan the Barbarian fit in the video store? As a video store owner.
I want to say action, but it's more dramatic than it is action-packed. You know what? I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to say drama.
You're going to say drama, eh? I was not expecting that decision. Laura, I'm going to continue on. Where do you think this belongs? And you can't say the garbage.
Oh, what the fuck?
You've already disallowed the porn section, so we're out there too.
Look at this.
This movie wasn't that bad for the nudity. You got, like, the way you guys were talking about it. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't. This one's it is a tougher one. Drama for me tends to hold my attention better, but it is still very dramatic. Is she gonna drown herself? I stopped watching when he was sitting on the steps.
No, she doesn't drown herself.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna agree with Corey on this one and put it in drama.
Really?
Yeah.
If I had started this podcast and said, I think two people are going to put Conan the Barbarian in drama.
You'd still be wrong because there's going to be at least 3.
Really?
I understand like the action adventure aspect of it compared to the story. We get the arc of the story of the growth of the character enough where it to me it supersedes the action of it. And when I say the perfect movie, what could you have done to this movie in that time to make it better? Like, there's not a lot you could have done. Now, if you don't like the genre, you don't count, type thing, right? But for what it was trying to be, for what it was, how could you have possibly made this movie better? You gave the meatheads. You minimized their lines. You gave all the character development, all the growth to the villain, who's a great actor, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, it's a drama to me.
I guess I'm the only one that's going to put this in action because, like, how do you fucking not?
And then you throw the soundtrack in there, which is so mood guiding in that sense. This orchestrated instrumental soundtrack is just so. You close your eyes and you feel what the scene is portraying, and then you open your eyes and, oh my God, this.
I did mean to give the soundtrack some attention because there is some beautiful scene music, right? It's the thing about movies nowadays, the soundtrack is not front and center like it used to be. The 80s, the 90s, the soundtrack was like its own character in movies. And I'm not talking about movies that have like popular music. Like these orchestrated...
More the score than the soundtrack.
Yeah, the score, the older movies are amazing, right? And this movie's got a pitch perfect score almost. Like there was, I made fun of the whimsical running through the grass scene a little bit. And that'd be about the only real miss with the score. But
you can tell I did not read the comic books because running that far, how are they not dead? Like,
man, this guy's voice gets doing this whole Conan did return with a wayward daughter.
See, this is totally Star Wars.
I thought they did the normal scroll before Star Wars. Scroll. Sorry.
Like the scroll, like happens.
Star Wars created the going away.
Yeah, it goes into space.
Where they were doing scrolls like this for a long time.
Fun fact: they did not invent that scroll. I think it was a Flash Gordon thing.
Probably.
Which is where they took a lot of their inspiration.
Now
from.
there's a bad movie.
Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because
Flash. He'll save every one of us.
that Flash Gordon movie would not have been made if not for Star Wars, which was heavily inspired by Flash Gordon.
The comic or
So
graphic novel.
no, there was a TV show. No, there were series, not TV shows, movie serials.
Yeah, okay.
Which was
Dodgers in the
TV.
25th and a half
Hey,
century.
Will Smith's in this movie.
Oh, really? Max von Sydow was the king?
Yeah. Franco Colombo. There he is.
Huh.
George Sands.
Max von Sydow is the old priest in The Exorcist.
Oh, really?
John Bloomfield was dead? Holy cow. Oh, I couldn't
Anyway,
believe that.
Pepe Lopez.
So, Mike, let's start off with you. Final thoughts on Conan the Barbarian, because I know it's going to be glowing from you.
Well, I mean, it's a movie from my youth, 82. That would have put me
Let's not do the math.
13 years old. It had boobs, nudity, had violent action, a story. It had everything that a 13-year-old boy would want. And to me, it aged incredibly well. In comparison, what would they to brutalize it with modern technology and whatnot? I think it's an incredible film. It's incredible for what it wanted to be, and it did very well. And I still love the movie. They haven't ruined it yet.
like if that logo is not centered with the text.
Right? My OCD is like,
Wait, what? Oh, I'm changing everything now. No, sorry. That's a fantastic film. Love it, and I'll probably love it forever.
Laura, final thoughts on Conan the Barbarian? I'm going to presume you've got a little bit different take.
a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
I'm polar opposite from Mike. Not for me. I do not like this movie. I won't even give it a rating.
You won't even give it a rating?
Nope.
Isn't that even a zero?
It's like lower than a zero.
Oh, wow.
Mike pointed it out earlier. The whole filming on it, the whole spaghetti western idea of it all, I hate that kind of filming.
I can understand why a person wouldn't like this film, but it's hard not to recognize some quality and give it a little bit of that. Now, the other films in this series, I could see giving that kind of rating because
No, I stopped at this one.
So we're not doing Red Sonja next, eh?
No. No.
Well, so we've got a praise of a near perfect movie and a below zero rating.
So we're 50% now. At the moment.
Wow. Hey, it was
This
shot
movie
in
was
Spain.
shot in Spain.
Special thanks
It's
to
Alfredo. Are you sure it was shot in Spain? 81.
Corey, final thoughts on Conan the Barbarian. And this is your first time viewing it, right? But
Yes.
This is your second time now.
About that. Anyway.
Oh, was this legitimately your first time watching it?
Perhaps. Anyways, not the point.
No wonder you had so much to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I can't get a word in when you two start talking.
He said boobs.
My stamp was put on this movie, damn it.
Wow.
I'm somewhere in the middle of Mike and Laura. I don't like this style of movie. I've never liked this style of movie. I don't like this genre of movie. I've never liked this genre of movie. But like Jeff said, I recognize the artistic value and the story and everything. So I will give it a 2.75 out of 5. So it's just over 50% because it's 50-50 for me. And I mean, again, coming from a guy who was a die-hard Schwarzenegger fan growing up, I just never watched this because I knew the style wasn't my thing. But yeah, it was what it was, and I'll probably never watch it again. But I watch it, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. That's cool. But yeah, 2.75.
And like you said, I really liked Twins, and I liked Kindergarten Cop.
His like least favorite movie.
Right? But I did not like this.
Get to the chopper.
That was Predator.
That was Predator.
That was Predator.
No.
Okay.
It's not that too
I'm
long.
going to ram my fist through your stomach and break your goddamn spine. Name that movie.
Just Last Action Hero, the whole thing.
No.
No, I'm just saying that's if you ever want to watch a Schwarzenegger movie, know what his movies are all about. Just watch Last Action
Yeah.
Hero.
Right?
There's actually a YouTube video on that movie was supposedly so meta. You'd have to watch it.
It is meta. I know that.
No, I
the
mean,
back of my head.
like it's so profound, it's over everybody's head, so it didn't pour. You have to watch it. Never mind.
Okay, well, I understand.
I love the movie.
I have the movie committed to memory. I love that movie. So.
For my final thoughts on Conan the Barbarian, there's a lot to recognize that went well. There is some problems with this movie as well, though, that for me, it's far from a perfect movie. There were some weird pacing decisions at times. It wasn't glaring, it wasn't terrible, but it really didn't seem like it was getting into the story till about 45 minutes into the movie, and then it got into the story itself, which I'm okay with the origin stuff, right? And it was good character building. Maybe some movies should take a note and do that more often.
Amen.
And I appreciate that even though it had a lot of tropes, it also didn't have a lot of tropes. Like it didn't. I appreciate a movie.
No idea what you mean by that.
Huh?
I have no idea what you mean by that.
So there's the general trope where like, oh, you have to rescue the damsel, you date the damsel, and that's how you fall in love. It ignored that trope, yet still didn't have a love story, yet it still had love in it. So I appreciate the unorthodox approach to that kind of thing. But then there were some scenes that were just like, are they tropes because it came from this movie, or were they tropes already? Like, there was definite stuff that was just kind of like, yeah, I've seen that before. Well, yeah, I've seen that before. But seeing it now for the first time, I don't know if that's why I've seen them before, is because of this, right? It fits in my Temple of Doom rating just because of the style of movie it is and the quality, but it's got a higher quality production than I give it credit for. The score is terrific.
People have ripped that score off for all sorts of future stuff. D&D people will play it in the background all the time.
I can see it.
Stuff like that.
There was some questionable acting. I honestly think that fucking James Earl Jones did a shit job in this fucking movie. I think he was a terrible actor in this movie. His voice was terrific, and I get that he was supposed to be kind of this, like, stoic thing, but, like, I don't know. It was beyond just being stoic and unflinching. It was, yeah, there was nothing in that character's face. and not in the good way that there wasn't anything in that character's face. And Arnold had some really good moments with facial and eyes where you could really feel his emotion. But, man, half the stuff he talked was not good. So I'm going to give it deserves slightly better than a Temple of Doom, so I'm going to give it 3/4 of a Raiders of the Lost Ark and a Temple of Doom. It's definitely not something I'm going to continue going back to, but I do got to recognize its quality for what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
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 So now comes the part of the night where we're all ready to go, and we don't want to talk about ourselves, right?
I do.
You want to talk about
I
yourself?
want to talk about stuff.
You don't got time for that.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, D, hit the button, done. Corey, why do you want to talk about yourself, buddy?
Next Tuesday, I'm not going to give exactly numbers because God knows this isn't posted right away.
Yeah, you really got to get on that.
Yeah.
Ever since you've been posting instead of me, it's even...
Yeah.
And I thought I was bad because sometimes I thought I posted and then it'd be like, hey, it hasn't come up yet. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. Like, false went up there. But, yeah, this is getting kind of bad.
Yep.
This is the first week in November, and the Halloween episode's not up yet.
Yep.
What have you been distracted with? You forgot all about this.
Tuesday.
A play, business, what else?
No, that's it.
A kid getting a driver's license? That makes us all afraid.
He should drive it for a while now.
Trying to buy a vehicle for your kid?
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Wait a second. Cool's Runnings does not belong in the kids section.
It does so.
Does not.
Well, okay, it does so. It can either go in kids and family or inspirational. So pick one.
It can go in inspirational.
He doesn't have an inspirational
But
section.
then it goes in the general.
No, then it goes in kids and family.
No, it
I
doesn't.
will 100% argue about this.
Pool Hall Junkies is an inspirational film. Does it belong in kids? No, it doesn't.
Not every inspirational movie belongs in kids and family.
Well, it belongs in general.
Indecent Proposal inspired me, so
I don't think you should tell Kathy that.
I think this falls into Jurassic Horror.
We don't know what a battle scar. Jeez.
Gold scar?
Scar's got to heal first.
That wound is never closed.
So, November 12th, I'm hoping. It's all looking good. I might be having a bit of issues with my POS system, although it sounds like they've overnighted it to me, so I'll be getting it tomorrow. I am looking to open my doors. So, we record here, I would say live, but it's not. We record here at the database in Camrose. As I put it, Camrose is #1 source for retro video games, movies, and collectibles, and candy. So this will be...
That's not creepy.
Hey, kitty.
Or your windows aren't dark enough. Just
They're
saying.
pretty dark.
The reason the store is a block and a half away from the school is because they wouldn't let Corey get any closer.
Yeah. It's a restraining order. It's fine. What's it called? So this right here, the database in Camrose. Look us up. We're on Google. We're on Facebook. This will be our base of this will be our base of operations going forward. And then for Mike, with Infinite Imagination, will be kind of being their storeroom as well. So they'll kind of be using our back room for a bit. So I'm kind of glad I can help out with everybody here. So.
Did you say in the storeroom or in their storeroom?
In the storeroom.
Okay, because I heard there.
No.
Corey has graciously given us a little corner in the back to help put some stuff. So thank you, Corey, as a proud sponsor of Infinite Imagination.
Yeah, and
Is there any tax breaks that come with that?
no.
We could do a performance in here, some improv. Whatever
Yeah.
we take tips and we'll donate it to your rent.
There you go. God knows I'll need it. Yeah, otherwise I got nothing else. I'm just excited. I did my play, the Halloween play. It was okay. No rhyme intended.
That's good. Okay is good.
Yeah, okay was good. I'm not upset by any means, but I most respectfully am glad it's done. And I can focus 100% on this now. Laura?
Nothing worth mentioning.
Yeah. Well, certain things are left out of it.
Yeah,
Microphone.
so really nothing worth mentioning. It's got The Boss coming out next week. I've been helping you. I went and got drunk and tried to put $5 into a pretend cowboy's belt.
I heard that
I beg your pardon.
the Scout girls went out and they got a little shit face, according to Randy.
Well, Randy, because we were shit-faced. Becky, Jamie, and Heather only had 2. I had 4. If you count the drinks that were shared, about 6. I was only tipsy, and it was Jamie's money, Becky's suggestion, and I was going to do it.
See, that many drinks combined would just get me buzzed. So
Yeah, no, I had a nice buzz going.
when I'm talking about yours versus Jamie's versus Becky's, all those drinks combined would just get me buzzed.
I feel like Jamie and Heather and Becky don't drink very much. I think Jamie used to be a bit of a drinker back in the day. I don't know anymore.
Oh no, she stood up, started moving, and her car spent the night at Retro.
Well then.
So yeah, no.
Too much nudity in this movie, but
He
Cowboys
wasn't
at
naked. And again, Jamie's money, Becky's suggestion. I'm the troublemaker. I was going to do it.
Mike, now that you got something that you weren't even really spearheading, but it's still a project out of the way, what's next for you?
Actually, life is kind of calming down.
Knock on wood.
I do have. How about veneer?
That works.
It's compressed wood, I guess, underneath. Actually, we're at a manageable thing. Things keep dropping into my lap, so click on over to Raging Imagination. We're going to throw out some shared stuff with Real Life Opinion. That's our podcast based upon artists and how art and creativity can affect mental health. It's going to be casual until somebody is profound and deep, and then we'll go down there. This Saturday, we're going to do an episode with a caricature artist. So that'll be a blast. We have Murder Mystery going on. We have ADFA Festival coming around next year in May. And somebody just contacted me and wants Infinite to turn some of their books into audiobooks for them. So now we're dipping into that world. So that's kind of cool. So I have no idea where that's going to go, but
Shades of Grey.
Thank you. Well, I asked her. She gave us the freedom to add music, sound effects if we see it fit, as long as the story is told. So you gotta love it when people give you the creative freedom to do that, and that sort of thing. So thanks to Camrose and Alberta and my friends and Gory and Jeff and everybody for spreading the word, and Laura.
You Conan hating motherfucker.
You Conan hating motherfucker. Just fuck off.
One time I don't like his movie. Like, shit.
It's all good. I mean, life is good now.
I pause for a second. This is not the first time you've disliked the Mike pick, and I picked the movie, not Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, but no. This is the first time that I've disliked a movie that Mike loves. How about that?
That is an incorrect statement.
He didn't love that movie. He liked that movie.
I feel like he liked RRR better than he likes Conan, because he spoke pretty glowingly.
Well, I wouldn't say better than, but RRR is a phenomenal movie to me, too.
But see, that's not love. That's just
It gets phenomenal, not love.
Oh my God.
Did I use the word love on this one? I mean, I could have. I'm not denying it. But
You did call
Practically perfect.
Practically perfect. We said we were going to quote it.
Now I want to quote Mary
that
Poppins.
doesn't sound anything like love, but I get your point. But yeah, so.
See, he gets it.
I understand your perspective. I relate. I get it.
So the podcast that's in the can that's not released yet, I talked about an epic DC Marvel crossover with Raging Imagination, and then everyone took the DC Marvel thing too literal.
That's
So
because Corey and I do not have time to get, like...
it's not what I'm saying.
I saw what you were saying.
Yeah,
Not right away, but I did.
you got what I was saying.
I'm still sitting on the idea of possibly doing a actor draft, movie draft idea in that form.
An actor draft.
You know, we talked about doing the draft where we all draft actors.
The actor.
And I thought about like Danielle's, she'll lean into our schlocky section, and Ash is going to be a little more superheroes and Lord of the Rings type. And
I actually think that's a great idea for the actor draft.
but it's going to be on film. Got to film it. It's my
Sorry, Laura.
So
That's
Laura's
fine.
Ash will probably wear a mask, and so you can join her with that. But you also got to wear the corset and have your low cut nimble. Just kidding.
I don't wanna.
She'll lend you some of her elf ears. I don't know. It's an idea, and maybe we can open up and talk about your mental health. I mean, all of everybody.
We don't want to get into my mental health right now.
Yeah. Anyway, just thoughts. They're all thoughts.
All right. I think we're finally going to wind out at 2 hours and
Jeff's
10
not
minutes.
doing anything?
No.
Nope.
No. Sorry, we started this way and went that way, and I was like,
Yep.
yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I live a boring life.
You were Mario in a sewer last week.
Don't argue.
Yes, I was Mario at work. My boss laughed his ass off when because I show up, I wear exactly what I normally wear. I have a red long sleeve shirt and there's blue coveralls. So I wore exactly what I normally wore, shaved my goatee so I had my mustache, and then I guess had this outlandish Mario hat. I'm sitting being as serious as I could be, talking in the morning meeting, and my boss is just looking at me. I can't look at you.
You should have finished your meeting. It's like, and that's all I have.
There was a couple wahoos during the day.
You gotta change your like accents and everything, go Italian and
Yeah. But yeah,
Take lessons from James.
Yeah.
not much going on. Just a little bit of heartbreak and disappointment with my older kid, but he's working through that. And the younger one's
something?
Huh?
Did you get dumped or something?
No. He it was a job prospect and that flipped right in the last second. It's some stuff, right? But you just got to teach a person to get up, back, and do stuff again, right? So
It's called life.
Yeah. It is. But
Da, 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 da. Oh, sorry. Life is life.
I did not know that song.
I do.
Opus? Or something like that? Okay, all right.
But we're out of time here, folks.
Yes.
Mike, say goodbye.
Bye.
Laura, say goodbye.
Wow, he's so enthusiastic. Bye.
Corey.
Here, I'll make up for it. Bye!
So long,
And
folks.
thanks for all the fish.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Is that it?